Hello, my name is Hunter Tim, and welcome to my third and final reflective analysis, my final vision of teaching and learning for Ontario Tech. Um, when I first started this program, I thought I had a pretty good idea of what teaching was: building relationships, creating a welcoming classroom, and being a role model who was present and supportive. 9 weeks later, I can see that those early ideas were not wrong, they were simply the foundation. This semester has added layers I did not even know I was missing. Throughout the course and throughout the program, I grew into someone who understands teaching not just as a job or a set of strategies, but as a responsibility to the learners, to the community, and something I've realized deeply this semester, to the land and the relationships that exist within it. So, my new vision of teaching and learning that I have revised since the first semester, since the second semester, is that my new vision of teaching is to create a relational, inclusive, and engaging classroom where learning is holistic, connected, and meaningful, guided by respect, reciprocity, and reflection, and where students are empowered to grow academically, socially, and personally while understanding their place in the world and community. What has shifted the most for me is how I now see teaching as fundamentally relational, not just relationship building, but relationships as pedagogy, something that mirrors Indigenous worldviews that we have learned throughout the 16 months. I used to think relationships were important because they help students learn. Now I understand that relationships are a part of learning. Respect, care, reciprocity, responsibility, all central to the OCT ethical standards of practice that came alive for me when we explored Indigenous teachings throughout the program. The sharing circle in week 5 that we did in Foundations 3 especially helped me. What stood out wasn't just people's stories, but how gently and respectfully they were offered. Everyone shared something personal, a name, a place, a memory, and the circle held all of it. There was no rush to respond, no pressure to perform, just listening, ultimately active listening. I realized the sharing circle isn't just an activity, it is a way of being in community. It's an approach to teaching that honors voice, identity, and presence. In my future classroom, this kind of relational, respectful practice is something I want to embed regularly, not as a token gesture, but as part of how we learn and listen to one another. At the start of the program, I wrote that learning should be fun, engaging, and connected to the world. This semester taught me how to actually make that happen. And the previous semesters too. I learned that engagement isn't about making everything exciting, it's about helping students make meaning. It's about slowing down, asking those deeper questions, giving them time to think, and inviting multiple perspectives into the room. Mary Budrow's wait time, the Q matrix, and design thinking questioning strategies all help me understand how to push thinking further. Indigenous perspectives ultimately added a new and another dimension, learning as holistic, involving heart, mind, body, and spirit, learning as connected to the community, learning as connected to the land. The 4 R's, really important to me: respect, responsibility, reciprocity, and relationship, felt like the clearest articulation of what I want my teaching to look like. They aren't just Indigenous principles, they're human principles, and they help me see that learning is not only about academic growth, but also personal and communal growth. From Drake and Reed, the interdisciplinary model appealed to me instantly. It fits who I am and the kind of classroom I want to build. Life is not lived in separate subjects, and why should learning be? Interdisciplinary learning feels natural, meaningful, and authentic. It echoes Indigenous worldviews where knowledge is interconnected rather than separated into boxes. When we blend things like science, art, history, language, and math together, we're teaching students to see the world as a web of relationships, which aligns beautifully with the Indigenous teachings we explored this semester. I want students to see that learning is not just about meeting curriculum expectations, but about understanding connections between ideas, people, the past and present, and between themselves and the world. I also wanted to share my PMS again, which is rooted in respect and consistency, because I've seen how those two things make students feel safe. I also want my approach to honor Indigenous perspectives on discipline, focusing on restoring relationships and not punishing behavior. This semester also helped me see that misbehavior is not defiance, it's communication. Through the BUMPS method and Garrett's model, restorative conversations, redirection, and co-created norms and established routines help define my vision. I want my classroom to feel like a shared community. Students deserve to know the why behind our expectations and have a voice in helping shape them. Ultimately, this semester assessment was a highlight in that it often gets treated as the endpoint, and this semester reframed it for me completely. Assessment is about growth, and professional judgment is necessary in assessment and evaluation. Growing in success also made me realize the difference lies not in the task, but how the information of assessment is used. In the classroom, I want that students to feel assessment is about growth, reflection, and finding their strengths. I want them to understand that mistakes matter because they show where we can grow next. This connects naturally to Carol Dweck's growth mindset, but also to Indigenous perspectives on learning as continuous, lifelong, and cyclical. Who I am becoming as an educator and my goals. What I feel most confident in is my ability to connect with students, to understand them, empathize with them, and create learning that feels relevant and welcoming. That part feels natural to me. One goal I have, especially in my first year as teaching, is I want to strengthen my classroom management. I want to find that sweet spot where I am both the warm, fun teacher and the calm, guiding presence that keeps the learning environment grounded. I want to be impactful, I want to be memorable. My second goal is that I also want to increase my cultural humility and awareness. In week 9 of my DLP, I put a lot of Indigenous resources in terms of induction or getting started as a new teacher, because I want to not only get started as a new teacher, but as a new teacher, be able to find ways to connect with the Indigenous communities around my area. I don't want to be an educator who only uses Indigenous content during specific units. I want to weave Indigenous perspectives, values, and ways of knowing into my class community all year round. Some things that might limit my vision are, of course, time, flexibility, adaptation, students' needs. Some parents or students might not be on board, but that is okay. Limits and barriers exist to be overcome or be broken through. And of course, I have to grow and adapt and change myself in order to match the level of experience and growth that I want to be at. Ultimately, my final thought, here's my vision of teaching again, just to come full circle. And I just want to say that this semester and this program, these 16 months, have shown me that teaching isn't something that I do. It is something that I am becoming and have become. It is relational, reflective, and deeply human. Being a teacher is being grounded in care and responsibility, and being a teacher is about constantly evolving as I learn more about my students, myself, and the world around us. Just like what I talked about what they talked about in Acting Today, Shaping Tomorrow, to become a lifelong learner, a lifelong citizen, and a lifelong steward. What we do today and how I learn and grow today is how I'm going to shape my students in the future and set themselves up and myself up for success. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you for literally everything.